Welcome to episode 25 of our series on Robert Greene's book, The Laws of Human Nature. Now, can you find similarities here? Back in 1929, before the big stock market crash, people got hooked on playing the stock market. They loved hearing the sound of the ticker tape machine, which showed stock prices changing. That clicking noise meant something was happening. Someone was trading and maybe making lots of money. People got addicted to this sound, like it was the heartbeat of Wall Street. Today, we don't have ticker tapes anymore. But we have something similar. We're addicted to knowing what's happening every minute. We constantly check the news, see what's trending, and look at Twitter. The little ping sound from our phones when we get a new notification is like a drug to us. When we do this, we feel like we're connected to life itself. We think we're seeing events change as they happen, and we're in touch with other people following the same news. This need to know things right away keeps getting stronger. Once we get used to getting news quickly, we can't go back to waiting longer like we used to. We want more information, and we want it faster. This impatience spreads to other parts of our lives too. We get annoyed when we have to wait in traffic, or when a book is too long, or when a movie is slow-paced. We can't pay attention for as long, and we get frustrated more easily when things don't go smoothly. We can all see signs of this nervous impatience in our own lives. But what we don't realize is how it messes up our thinking. The trends we see happening right now in business or politics are usually part of bigger trends that take weeks or months to play out. These longer periods of time show us the real strengths and weaknesses of an investment, an idea, a sports team, or a political candidate. Often, these real strengths and weaknesses are the opposite of what we see in the short-term trends. Looking at one poll or one stock price by itself doesn't tell us much about these strengths and weaknesses. It tricks us into thinking that what's happening right now will keep happening in the same way. It's normal to want to know the latest news, but it's risky to make decisions based only on these quick snapshots of what's happening. Plus, people tend to overreact to any good or bad change they see right now, and it's hard not to get swept up in their excitement or panic. Let's look at what Abraham Lincoln had to deal with, even though he lived in a time with much less technology. When the Civil War started, he looked at the big picture. He thought the North should win because it had more people and resources, but he knew time was a problem. Lincoln needed time for the Union Army to get stronger and to find the right generals to lead the war. But if too much time passed without any big wins, people might turn against the war. If the North became divided, Lincoln's job would become impossible. He needed to be patient, but he also needed victories in battle. In the first year of the war, the North lost badly at Bull Run. Suddenly, almost everyone doubted Lincoln's ability as president. Even smart Northerners like the famous editor Horace Greeley told Lincoln to make peace with the South. Others wanted him to use all the North's resources to crush the South right away, even though the army wasn't ready. This pressure kept building as the North didn't win any big battles. Finally, in 1863, General Ulysses S. Grant won at Vicksburg, and soon after, General George Meade won at Gettysburg. Suddenly, people called Lincoln a genius. But just 6 months later, when Grant got stuck fighting General Robert E. Lee's Confederate Army, and lots of soldiers were dying, people panicked again. Greeley once more told Lincoln to negotiate with the South. It looked like Lincoln wouldn't get re-elected. He had become very unpopular because the war was taking too long. Feeling all this pressure, in late August 1864, Lincoln wrote a letter offering peace terms to the South. But that same night, he felt ashamed for giving up and hid the letter in a drawer. He believed things had to change, and the South would eventually lose. Just a week later, General William Tecumseh Sherman captured Atlanta, and suddenly all doubts about Lincoln disappeared. Lincoln was able to see the long-term picture. He correctly understood the strengths and weaknesses of both sides and how the war would likely go. Everyone else got caught up in the day-to-day news about the war. Some wanted to make peace, others wanted to rush into a big attack, but all of this was based on how things looked at the moment. A weaker person would have given in to these pressures, and the war might have ended very differently. Harriet Beecher Stowe, who visited Lincoln in 1864, later wrote about him. He was surrounded by all kinds of people with different opinions: traitors, scared people, people from different states, extreme abolitionists, and conservatives. He listened to everyone, thought about what they said, waited, watched, sometimes gave in a little here and there, but mostly kept to his main honest goal and steered the country through it all. Lincoln gives us an example to follow and shows us how to overcome this fever for constant information. First and most important, we need to develop patience. It's like a muscle that gets stronger with practice. Lincoln was very patient. When we face a problem, we should follow his example. We should slow down, step back, and wait a day or two before doing anything. Second, when we're dealing with important issues, we need to have a clear idea of our long-term goals and how to reach them. Part of this means looking at the strengths and weaknesses of everyone involved. Having this clear view helps us stay calm when everyone around us is overreacting emotionally. Finally, it's important to believe that time will prove us right if we've made good decisions, and to stick to what we believe in. By following these steps, we can avoid getting caught up in the constant stream of information and make better, more thoughtful decisions. We can learn to see the bigger picture, just like Lincoln did, even in our fast-paced, technology-driven world. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If anything resonated with you, feel free to drop your thoughts and personal stories in the comments below. Your input might just be the insight someone else needs. Here's something to keep in mind. Make a daily habit of learning something useful. Just like how you nourish your body with food, your mind needs nourishment too. Be deliberate about what you consume, because otherwise, the algorithm might start influencing your thoughts. Think about it. And hey, we're always open to welcoming subscriptions to our channel as donations to support our future upcoming projects and bring you top-tier content. Join our community by subscribing today.